It's where the South met the North and the East headed west.
The Hannibal and St. Joseph Railroad was constructed in the 1850s, following a route in northern Missouri known as the Hound Dog Trail, tracing almost exactly the same route as Highway 36 does today. When it was completed, the railroad made St. Joseph the westernmost point you could reach by train from the East Coast. From here, the Pony Express connected St. Joe to Sacramento, California, making St. Joe the true gateway to the West in 1860.
And you could actually get on a train in New York City, take your time, work your way to St. Joseph, Missouri, get off that train, sign on for a wagon train, and go west. We are also the hub for communication. So in 1860 and 61, here came the Pony Express. So you not only had the transportation hub to the west here, but you also had the communication hub. You had tens of thousands of people headed west, and they were all outfitting themselves for their expedition, but that means they had money. So you probably had crooks here, you had 129 saloons, you had not only what's going on downstairs, but what's going on upstairs. And then here comes the Civil War. Here came the Union Army, here came the Confederates, you had people enlisting in both, mostly Confederate, however. Then you had Sterling Price and his 12,000 men 60 miles away.
To put this in perspective, the current population of St. Joe is about 75,000, and we only have 40 to 60-ish bars. But in 1861, we only had 10,000 people, but we had 129 bars. The place was wild, and the war had only just begun. Silas Gordon was an anti-Union guerrilla fighter out of Platte City, Missouri. Up to this point, his biggest offenses had been kidnapping some Union officers and what have you, but around September 2nd or 3rd of 1861, he and his band of Bushwackers, under cover of night, went out to sabotage the railroad bridge over the Platte River right outside of St. Joe. They set fire to the support beams holding the whole thing together, but left the top intact. They thought Union troops were coming out on the next train, but come to find out, they were wrong, and the mistake would be paid for dearly. On the night of September 3rd, at about 11:15 p.m., a train full of civilians approached the bridge. With no moon and only the locomotive's oil headlamp for light, they had no way to see that the support beams were fried. The bridge gave way and collapsed under them, and the train tumbled into the river.
100 plus people were injured. 17 to 20 people were killed. It took one of the people that worked on the railroad to get to the other side, and he found a hand car. And that bridge is only 7 to 10 miles away from St. Joseph. So he took that hand car into St. Joseph and told of the tragedy. Then here came everybody to help. The train station became a triage and a morgue.
Under General Henry Halleck, Union soldiers were ordered to hunt down the bushwhackers responsible. Sterling Price wrote Halleck a letter protesting the hunt, saying that the sabotage of the bridge was lawful and proper according to the rules of warfare, that it was a perfectly valid act of war. Halleck wrote back and said some not very nice things about the bushwhackers. The Union Army tightened its grip on the Hannibal and St. Joseph Railroad.
Protection of the Hannibal-St. Joseph Railroad was given to the 16th of Illinois, commanded by Robert F. Smith, and he and his 2,200 men started in Hannibal and worked their way towards St. Joseph, dropping men off all the way along to protect the line from exactly what happened in the Platte River Bridge.
When Smith got to St. Joe with his remaining 800 men, he occupied the town. Using both slave and free labor, he ordered the construction of Fort Smith to protect the town from the Confederates. Meanwhile, Silas Gordon fled south toward Platte City with the 18th Missouri Infantry on his heels. Gordon and his men managed to kill 2 Union soldiers in a skirmish before they got to Platte City. Colonel Morgan and the 18th Missouri captured Platte City and took some Confederate prisoners up to Bee Creek. They shot one of them, and one of them tried to run. As they chased him down, he slipped in the mud, and they stabbed the crap out of him. They then wrote U.S. on the side of Bee Creek Bridge using his blood. In Platte City, Colonel Morgan said, "Give us Gordon, or we'll burn this town down." Platte City said, "Bug off." So they burned the town down. Silas went down to Texas and came back to Platte City 3 years later, and so did the Union. Said, "Give us Gordon, or we'll burn this town down." They said, "Bug off." Well, guess what? They burnt the town a second time.
It was an incredible time. I wish somebody'd make a movie about St. Joseph, Missouri in 1861.
I wish they would too. I kind of did.